As we age, a profound shift occurs in the way we relate to those around us. In our youth, we are often surrounded by a supportive network of friends, family, and loved ones. These connections provide us with a sense of security, comfort, and companionship. However, as time passes and we enter our later years, we come to realize that these relationships can change, sometimes leaving us feeling alone. This reality underscores the crucial importance of self-reliance in our golden years. Throughout this video, we will explore how embracing independence and finding strength within ourselves can lead to a fulfilling and peaceful life in our later years. We will also reflect on the unique roles that spouses and children play during this time, shedding light on the balance between connection and autonomy. By cultivating confidence in oneself, we can avoid the traps of dependency and create a life that is both resilient and joyful, regardless of the challenges we may face. Confidence in oneself. The most precious gift. The truth becomes increasingly clear as we grow older. Confidence in oneself is perhaps the greatest gift we can give ourselves. When our bodies slow down and our social circles become smaller, the only constant support we have is ourselves. In our younger years, the world feels full, and our connections with others seem unshakable. We rely on friends, family, and romantic relationships for comfort, advice, and companionship. However, as the years pass, people drift away, priorities change, and sometimes those we care about will no longer be by our side. As we age, we often face the reality that the safety net of relationships we once relied on is no longer as sturdy as it once seemed. This realization can be disheartening, but it is also a vital part of aging with grace. It encourages us to build our own inner strength and resilience. We must recognize that true independence comes from within, and that our ability to adapt and persevere in the face of challenges is rooted in self-reliance. This wisdom highlights the unpredictability of life. The people we love may not always be there when we need them most, and external support can sometimes fade. However, when we learn to depend on ourselves, we find that we have an unshakable foundation to stand on. Self-reliance is not about isolation or rejecting help from others, but about recognizing that our strength, resilience, and peace come from within. The power of self-reliance. An ancient story. Once, a man struggling under the weight of many hardships sought solace at a temple. He prayed fervently to Kannon Bodhisattva, the goddess of mercy, asking for her intervention to help him overcome his troubles. When the man entered the inner sanctum of the temple, he was surprised to find Kannon herself deep in prayer. Confused, the man asked why such a powerful being would need to pray for help. This unexpected revelation humbled the man, reminding him that even the beings we look up to for strength and guidance carry their own challenges. Life is a journey filled with obstacles, and it is only by recognizing and cultivating our own resilience that we can move forward with grace. No matter how much we love others or how deeply we rely on their support, it is ultimately our inner strength that will carry us through life's most difficult moments. The balance of dependence and independence with children. It is natural to desire the care and support of our children as we age. After all, they are often a source of love, comfort, and security. However, there is a fine line between seeking support and becoming overly dependent on them. When we place too much expectation on our children's care and attention, we risk confining ourselves to a cage of dependency, where we feel trapped by the need for their constant presence or approval. While it is important to have relationships with our children that are filled with love and mutual care, we must also ensure that we do not lose ourselves in that dependency. Independence in old age is not about pushing away our loved ones, but about nurturing an inner strength that allows us to face life with dignity and confidence, no matter who may or may not be by our side. When we can care for our own well-being, make our own decisions, and shape our own lives, we free ourselves from the chains of dependency and open ourselves up to true fulfillment. The unbreakable bond with a spouse. While independence is a crucial part of aging well, there remains one relationship that often remains unshaken as we grow older: the relationship with our spouse. Throughout life, we encounter many different relationships: friends, colleagues, acquaintances, but it is often our spouse who stays by our side, offering support, companionship, and unwavering loyalty. In the earlier stages of life, love may be passionate and filled with the intensity of youth. It is marked by excitement, longing, and the thrill of romance. At this stage, love is often about self-discovery and finding fulfillment through the relationship. As we grow older, however, love transforms. It matures into something deeper, more profound, and more enduring. The love between a spouse becomes less about what we take from one another and more about what we give. As we age, the relationship with our spouse often becomes a steadfast rhythm of care, a bond built on patience, understanding, and the shared experience of life. Together, spouses create a shared legacy built on years of memories, struggles, and triumphs. In these later years, the nature of love changes from a blazing fire to a comforting glow. It is no longer about the thrill of new romance, but about the steady and comforting presence of someone who knows us deeply and accepts us fully. A devoted husband's love. A story of commitment. An inspiring example of this deep love and commitment is the story of a devoted husband who learned to play the piano for his ailing wife. Despite her health struggles, the husband spent months learning an instrument he had never played before, simply to be able to serenade her with her favorite songs. This beautiful gesture exemplifies that true love is not about passion or excitement, but about a deep, enduring commitment to the well-being of the other person. In the face of illness, the husband didn't give up or shy away from his wife's needs. Instead, he embraced the challenge of learning something new, demonstrating his commitment to supporting her in her time of need. This story encapsulates the essence of love in later life, not based on what we can take, but on what we can give to one another. Embracing independence and companionship in old age. As we enter the later stages of life, we begin to recognize the wisdom in balancing independence with companionship. Self-reliance does not mean rejecting others or shutting ourselves off from those we love. Rather, it is about cultivating the strength within ourselves that allows us to face the world with dignity and grace, no matter who is by our side. In our golden years, we must strive to embrace the beauty of self-sufficiency, knowing that while we may experience moments of solitude, we are never truly alone. Our resilience, built over a lifetime of experiences, becomes our greatest ally, and as we learn to balance independence with the comforting presence of a spouse, we can navigate the complexities of life with a sense of peace and confidence. The power of self-reliance. In our earlier years, we rely on the people around us. We turn to friends and family for support, seeking validation and guidance as we move through life. But as time passes, those relationships can shift. People move away, priorities change, and some relationships may fade. This is when the concept of self-reliance becomes crucial. The old saying, "Lean on the mountain and the mountain may fall. Lean on people and people may leave," rings true as we reflect on the importance of standing firm in our own strength. When we begin to understand that our happiness and peace do not rest entirely on the shoulders of others, we start to see the beauty in our independence. This realization can bring a sense of calm, knowing that we have the resilience to face life's challenges, no matter the circumstances. The unwavering commitment of love. While self-reliance is key, it is undeniable that the bonds we share with loved ones, especially with a spouse, play a pivotal role in our journey. Love, in its truest form, evolves over time. For many, it begins as an intense, passionate connection in youth, but with the passing of years, it transforms into a deeper, more profound bond that provides strength and stability. Take the story of a devoted husband and wife whose love became a living testament to the power of commitment in the face of hardship. When the wife was diagnosed with a rare illness that gradually eroded her memory, her husband made a choice that would define the depth of his love. He chose to stand by her side, not just as a caretaker, but as a partner committed to helping her find solace in the midst of confusion. The husband's journey. Learning the piano. In an extraordinary act of love and dedication, the husband decided to teach himself the piano. He believed that music, with its ability to soothe the mind and lift the spirit, might offer a way back to the woman he loved, even if only for a moment. Each note he played was infused with tenderness and devotion, a way to communicate his love when words alone seemed insufficient. Through his daily practice, he wove a melody of hope, comfort, and connection. Their love, once fiery and passionate, had transformed into something more enduring, a quiet, steady presence that transcended the challenges life had thrown their way. It was no longer about the excitement of youth, but about the deep commitment to be there, together, in every moment, no matter how fleeting. The transformation of love in old age. As we grow older, love shifts. In youth, we live for love, seeking excitement, adventure, and new experiences. But as we enter the later stages of life, our focus often changes. We no longer seek to take from others, but to give, to cherish the simple, everyday acts of love and care. In the twilight years, love becomes a quiet, unwavering commitment to remain side by side, offering support in ways both big and small. The husband's devotion to his wife, as she lost herself in the fog of illness, is a perfect example of this transformation. His love was no longer driven by passion, but by a deep sense of responsibility, of giving and being present for the one he promised to love, no matter the circumstances. This bond, forged through years of shared experiences, became a source of comfort and strength in their later years. The role of children in our lives. As we age, our relationships with our children evolve as well. Children are often our greatest joy, a reflection of our legacy and the future we have nurtured. In their youth, they are our world, and as they grow, we hope to be a guiding force in their lives. But as we move into our later years, it is essential to remember that while children are a blessing, they are not the foundation of our happiness. The expectation that children will become the primary support system for aging parents is common, but it's a dangerous assumption. Children, while capable of offering care and love, also have their own lives to live. They too must find their own purpose and navigate their own struggles. As parents, we must learn to let go, to allow our children to live freely, without the weight of our expectations. The burden of expectations. Relying too heavily on our children for our happiness can strain relationships and create an environment of tension. Children are not responsible for fulfilling all of our emotional needs. While they can offer love, companionship, and care, they cannot and should not be expected to carry the entire burden of our well-being. In placing such expectations on them, we risk damaging the very relationship we hope to nurture. True love means setting our children free. It means encouraging them to live lives full of their own dreams and purpose. By doing so, we not only help them flourish but also free ourselves from the chains of dependency. When we cultivate our happiness and fulfillment from within, we become a source of strength for ourselves, for our children, and for our relationships. The balance of independence and companionship. The journey of aging requires us to strike a delicate balance between self-reliance and companionship. The husband in our story teaches us that love in the later years is not about needing each other in the way we did in our youth, but about being there for one another, offering support, care, and understanding. Independence does not mean isolation. It does not mean cutting ourselves off from those we love. Rather, it is about finding strength within ourselves, so that we can stand on our own 2 feet, even as we walk through the challenges of aging. It is about fostering relationships that are based on mutual respect, understanding, and love, not dependency. The role of a spouse in later years. The role of a spouse in our later years is one that transcends mere companionship. A spouse becomes a mirror of our journey, a constant presence that provides emotional support, security, and love. The quiet bond shared between a husband and wife, built on years of experiences, becomes the foundation of emotional stability as we grow older. As the husband in our story found, love in old age is not about passion or excitement, but about presence, commitment, and understanding. A spouse is the one who knows you completely, the one who has walked alongside you through every trial, and the one who will remain by your side, offering comfort and care in your final years. Lessons from aging. Embracing our own strength. Ultimately, aging teaches us that we must learn to embrace our own strength. While the love and companionship of others are irreplaceable, it is the confidence we have in ourselves that will carry us through the most difficult times. Just as the husband in our story found peace in his role as a caretaker and a lover, we too must find joy in the simple act of being present for ourselves and others. As we age, it is easy to become consumed by the fear of loneliness or dependence. But the greatest gift we can give ourselves and those we love is the ability to stand on our own, to find fulfillment within, and to offer love freely, without the weight of expectation. This is the true essence of living with dignity and grace in our later years. Building a fulfilling and self-sustained life in later years. As we grow older, it becomes essential to rediscover our passions, hobbies, and interests. Aging is often perceived as a time when the world narrows, but in reality, it is an opportunity to reconnect with the parts of ourselves that might have been set aside in the pursuit of other goals. By nurturing hobbies, friendships, and a sense of personal fulfillment, we can ensure that our lives remain vibrant and meaningful. Rediscovering self-reliance does not mean distancing ourselves from our loved ones. Rather, it enriches our relationships. When we live with a sense of autonomy and happiness that is not reliant on others, we can approach our interactions with our children, spouse, and friends from a place of mutual respect and appreciation, not dependency. It allows us to cherish every moment with our loved ones without the weight of unspoken expectations. This realization can be both beautiful and challenging. While our children are an irreplaceable part of our lives, they cannot and should not be our everything. When we shift our focus from expecting fulfillment solely from them to appreciating the joy they bring as individuals, we create a healthier and more respectful relationship. Rather than clinging to them out of need, we can celebrate their independence, and in doing so, we experience a love that is free from burdens. The 3 pillars of support in our golden years. As we transition into the later stages of life, it becomes important to recognize the sources of support that sustain us. We can lean on 3 primary pillars in this period: ourselves, our spouse or partner, and our children. Each relationship offers a unique form of strength and resilience, and it is essential that we maintain a balance between them. First, our own personal strength is the cornerstone of our happiness. By focusing on self-care, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, we ensure that we are not only capable of taking care of ourselves, but also of nurturing our relationships. Our spouse or partner, too, is a pillar of support, offering companionship, understanding, and love. The bond with a partner, developed over many years, is often the foundation of our emotional security as we age. Lastly, our children are a vital source of comfort, but they must not be seen as the only means of emotional fulfillment. The role of a child is to grow, learn, and live independently. While they may bring joy and support, they are not the sole purpose of our lives. By fostering relationships with our children based on love and mutual respect, we allow them the freedom to live their lives without burdening them with the responsibility of our happiness. The challenge of letting go. creating space for mutual happiness. In our golden years, one of the most challenging yet rewarding tasks is learning to let go. Letting go of the expectation that our children will always be there to meet our emotional needs allows for a more authentic, fulfilling connection. This does not mean withdrawing from our children, but instead encouraging them to lead lives that are full and independent. As we release these expectations, we can create a space where our relationships are rooted in love and not obligation. When we approach our interactions with our children without hidden expectations, every reunion becomes an opportunity to celebrate their achievements, growth, and individuality. This shift from neediness to joy allows us to build stronger, more resilient connections that are less likely to be strained by the pressures of aging. By cultivating an atmosphere of mutual happiness, we allow our children to feel valued without the weight of responsibility for our emotional well-being. This is a gift we can give them, allowing them to flourish without being tethered to our needs. In return, we find a sense of peace, knowing that our relationships with them are founded on love, not dependency. The value of independence and self-care in later years. A critical aspect of aging gracefully is maintaining our independence. It is easy to fall into the trap of becoming dependent on others as we age, but true fulfillment comes when we continue to cultivate our own sense of self-sufficiency. Taking care of our physical, mental, and emotional health ensures that we can live with dignity and continue to contribute to the world around us. Self-care is not a luxury, but a necessity, especially as we age. It is through this practice that we empower ourselves to face life's challenges with grace. Whether it is through maintaining physical fitness, engaging in activities that bring us joy, or nurturing emotional well-being through meaningful relationships, self-care allows us to embrace the later stages of life with confidence. When we focus on our own happiness and fulfillment, we bring an energy to our relationships that enhances them. Rather than relying on our children, spouse, or friends to be our source of joy, we become the creators of our own happiness. This shift allows us to approach life with a sense of calm, resilience, and contentment that radiates outward to those we love. The importance of boundaries in parent-child relationships. As we age, our relationships with our children become increasingly important. However, it is crucial to recognize that our children should not be expected to bear the weight of our emotional needs. While they will always be an important part of our lives, we must understand that they have their own responsibilities, dreams, and aspirations. Excessive expectations can strain these relationships, leading to feelings of resentment or guilt. Children may feel burdened by the pressure to fulfill their parents' emotional needs, which can lead to emotional distance and misunderstandings. It is important for parents to set realistic expectations and allow their children the freedom to live their own lives. By fostering an environment where both parent and child feel respected and valued, we create a bond that can withstand the challenges of aging. Mutual respect and understanding are essential to ensuring that these relationships remain strong and healthy as we grow older. The long-term impact of parenting styles on children. The way we raise our children has lasting consequences that ripple throughout their lives. Parenting that is rooted in empathy, patience, and respect lays the foundation for strong, lasting relationships. On the other hand, harsh words, excessive discipline, and unmet expectations can have a devastating impact, creating emotional scars that last well into adulthood. Children who grow up in environments where love is conditional or where punishment is the primary means of discipline often internalize feelings of inadequacy, fear, and resentment. These children may distance themselves from their parents as they grow older, seeking to escape the emotional turmoil of their childhoods. The pain of being treated unfairly or harshly is often felt deeply, and the emotional wounds may not fully heal for years. As parents, it is essential to be mindful of the impact of our actions on our children's development. Disciplining with love and patience rather than anger or frustration fosters a deeper bond of trust and respect. When we choose empathy over control and understanding over judgment, we provide our children with a secure emotional foundation that will sustain them throughout their lives. The legacy of compassionate parenting. Parenting is an opportunity to sow the seeds of love, understanding, and kindness. Every act of patience, every moment of encouragement, and every word of support helps to shape the future of our children. By treating them with respect, we teach them how to navigate the world with empathy and compassion. As we age, the relationships we have cultivated with our children are a reflection of the love and care we invested in them. Children raised with love and understanding are more likely to honor and cherish their parents as they grow older. They carry forward the lessons they learned in their childhood and apply them to their own lives, creating a legacy of love that extends through generations. In our later years, we can take comfort in knowing that the love we gave to our children has been returned, not out of obligation, but out of respect and affection. This reciprocal love is the true reward of compassionate parenting, and it is the legacy we leave behind. The emotional cost of favoritism and unfair treatment. One of the most painful experiences a child can endure is the feeling of being less loved or valued by their parents. The sting of favoritism, when one sibling is cherished more than the other, can create a silent wound that lasts long after childhood. This emotional wound is invisible but deeply felt, and it can shape a child's sense of self-worth and their relationships with family members. Favoritism creates a divide in the family, fostering resentment and feelings of neglect. The child who feels less loved may struggle with feelings of inadequacy or loneliness, and these emotions can carry over into adulthood. In many cases, the bond with the favored sibling is strengthened, while the child who feels rejected becomes emotionally distant, carrying a heavy burden of pain. This emotional pain does not simply disappear. It continues to affect the child's interactions with their parents and siblings, sometimes leading to estrangement or a lack of connection later in life. The consequences of favoritism are far-reaching, and the emotional scars can persist long into adulthood. The path to healing, a commitment to fairness and love. As parents, it is essential to be aware of the impact our actions have on our children's emotional well-being. Treating them fairly, with respect, and without favoritism is crucial to building strong, trusting relationships. Children who feel equally loved and valued are more likely to develop healthy, supportive relationships with their parents and siblings. When parents commit to treating their children with fairness and compassion, they lay the foundation for lasting bonds that will endure throughout their lives. These bonds are not built on favoritism or control, but on love, respect, and understanding. By choosing kindness and fairness over harsh discipline or favoritism, we ensure that our children grow up with a deep sense of self-worth and a lasting love for their family. As parents, the greatest gift we can give our children is the gift of unconditional love, free from favoritism or harsh judgment. By doing so, we create a legacy of love and respect that will be carried forward by future generations.